I love you.
And I love you.
I also love you.
That's right, I love you too.
But I cannot live without you.
Hi, my name is Vanessa and I make art videos about a little bit of this and that. If that speaks to you, consider subscribing. Today, I am starting my new series for the year of 2024 on art supplies, and this is going to be episode number 1 that I have used throughout the years that I would definitely repurchase and have repurchased a lot of these. I'm about to show you today are all materials that I would say are tried and true. So let's get started and let's have a good time and check out what I have to show you.
Okay, let's get right into it. Let's start off with DrawingMedia, and specifically graphite. So I cannot live without these materials here. And we will start off with a mechanical pencil, and I like this one from Bic. It is a 0.7 millimeter, and this lead is pretty soft and it's good for detailing. And if you happen to not have a regular pencil on hand, this will do the job. It's not perfect for large areas. Like I said, it's good for detail, but it can do the job if you happen to not have a regular pencil like this one. This is the one that, or the brand that I order for my students, and it works very well. This is an HB number 2, and I'm not quite sure how to say the name, so I'll leave it where you can see it. But I have been ordering these for years, and it's my tried and true pencil for our shading unit. Also a range of pencils I cannot live without when I'm doing graphic drawing. So we have the range of 6B to 4H, and these are so handy when trying to do realistic artwork so you can develop that full range of value. My top 2 erasers are going to be the Pink Pearl. I need this in my life because this is just inexpensive, works great, good eraser all around. And then my Faber-Castell Kneaded eraser. This is fantastic for lifting values and not leaving any residue. I love it for drawing the highlights, molding, and working with charcoal and graphite. So there's that.
If you minus the Staedtler pencils and just look at mechanical regular pencil and erasers, those are affordable options.
Talking about pencils, I will say I have tried different brands. If I had to pick one brand, it would be my Prismacolors. I love my Faber-Castell Polychromos. Those are beautiful, but I do like the Prismacolors Premier, and I think it's just because I've been using this brand for many years, whereas the Polychromos are amazing, but I haven't been using those as long as I've been using my Premier Prismacolors. And if I had to narrow it down to a set, I would be okay if I just had a 24 set, because with this range of colors that you get 2 trays, I can go and develop drawings and make them look beautiful with just this amount of color pencils. So this is what I ended up drawing with that set of colored pencils. I did a workshop on how to use colored pencils. It was a workshop for art teachers and how to teach it to students, and this is what we ended up drawing. And then this is another one that I did with just the set of 24, so you can do a lot with just that range that you have there. So this is a new addition to me, but after using these magical pencils, I will say that these are amazing. So along with those, I will say that the Neocolor 2s, I can't live without these guys. These are so much fun, and if you work with mixed media, this is just going to be like a blast for you. So this is what I did with the Inktense. I made a video on this spread here, and look how vibrant they are, guys. They are so beautiful. They are permanent once they dry. So if you add other layers on top, it won't disturb the layers that are underneath, and they are just beautiful and fun to work with. And this spread I'm showing you is from the Neocolor 2s. So I experimented with these after I did my swatch card, and I immediately fell in love. And I know that these two media that I have here, I'm going to be using for the rest of my life. I just know it. It's just going to be one of those things that I will have to have in my life. And these two, the crayons and these pencils, were one of those things where I saw on YouTube and I learned about it from YouTube. So I had been influenced by other people, and I'm so glad that I have them in my life. Okay, I bet you guys know what this one is. These are my absolute love. I adore these mechanical colored pencils, and so the size is 0.7 millimeter, and they come with different colors. There are, I think, 4 more colors that come in the set that I bought. It's from Pilot. It's Color Eno, and my other ones, sadly, I left in my classroom, and so I don't have them for filming today. But there's like a pink, a dark blue, red, and an orange that's more like a yellow orange. And these are so handy for outlining your composition and getting things in place before you start adding your media. You can actually shade and draw with them, but that's not what I typically use them for. My next favorite is going to be my Kuretake Clean Color Brush Tip pens, and these are very versatile, just like the Neocolor 2s and the Inktense. You can do a lot with them. These you can draw, activate with water, draw on top of them, and I'm going to show you another thing that I made with these materials. So I made this spread I think on reviewing these or just showing you how to use them, the Kuretake, and this is on its own, and then there's a little bit of layering here, but I really did layering here and here, and I used the Prismacolors to draw on top of, and I used the Kuretake as a base, and then right here is just the Kuretake without the color pencil. This is with the color pencil, and then it's the background too, and I did like this brush lettering, but you can get some really fine lines, and then if you use it on the side you can get broader strokes and thicker lines, but these are great. Alright, so if we're talking about markers and pens, I do love these Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens. I love the color range that it comes with. I do like that the barrel shows you the color of the ink, and that is handy. One thing I don't like about these pens is that the brush tip wears down pretty quickly, but you know, I like the material, the ink that comes out of it, and you know, I just like to rotate it so that I can work the nib from different angles and not just like wear it down on one side. But I love these pens, and they are permanent, so when you put other media on top of it, it won't reactivate, and the color won't lift. So these are great. And the ink is India ink, waterproof, high light fast, and these you're supposed to store horizontally. All right, so this is another one of my favorites. A lot of these are from my one video I made about my favorite art supplies of 2022. And it's just because these are just
tried and true materials
that I just keep reaching for. And like I said, they are present in my life. And this is the Mitsubishi pencil. It's a dual tip. We have indigo on, or I'm sorry, actually Prussian blue and then vermilion on the other side. And the colors are very vibrant. I did this here. This is Pieta, and then this is the Eye of David with the vermilion, Prussian blue, and then this is a combination of both colors. So, like I said, the range, you can go really deep in the value and you can get some softer values with it too. Love it. I cannot go without these in my art collection. And these are the Micron pins. I love that there are different size tips. You can get them at pretty much like this is a fine liner. A standard fine liner size is 5. And you can even get a bigger size. This is a 1, a graphic 1, archival ink. You can even get a brush tip as well. And then these are waterproof inks. So this is really good pen for drawing. These are not microns, but they are the brush tip sign pen. If you're into brush lettering, this is great. So I like to do my lettering with these when I put like information in my sketchbook.
Okay, you guys, let's transition into paints.
All right, so it's time for some paint, guys. I can't live without my watercolors. I find that watercolors are just so nice to have. They're convenient, easy cleanup, easy setup, and they're great for art on the go. And this is just a mixture of different brands. There's Daniel Smith, Rembrandt, M. Graham, and along with that, I will say that this is a recent purchase, but I cannot live without these art toolkit palettes. And I'll tell you why. I like that the profile is slim. I can just slip it into my art bag or my little pouch where I store all my pens and pencils, and it has a great little mixing space. I like that these are magnetic where I can interchange them. It's just convenient and easy. You can customize this with different sizes. So this is me just testing out the different sizes to see what I like. And then I think this one was a one that they had that you can just go ahead and order, and it was like it came like this, whereas this one I want to say that I chose different sizes, and so I customized the little mixing space too right here. And then I made little tester cards to see the color, and I did that for this palette. I still need to laminate this, but this is my larger palette. I think this is the largest size that it comes in, but these are great, very handy for if you're doing plein air, or you're going to a coffee shop, or you're at a friend's house and you're having an art date and you guys go paint in your backyard as you're chatting and painting. These are great to have. I have these brushes that I like. Now, I've been doing watercolor for a few years, maybe about 5 or so years. So it hasn't been a medium that I've used. Like, I've dipped in and out of it since high school, and I don't even think I touched it in college because we didn't use that in my painting classes. We used oils. But since, more recently, I dabbled into it, and I've been enjoying them. And so I wouldn't say I'm a connoisseur of paintbrushes, but from what I've tried, these are my favorite. And I like the price and the amount of give that it has, the stiffness, the softness. It's just right for me. And the range that you can get round, flat, you can get dagger brushes. It's fantastic. And so these are Princeton from their Neptune line. Really good. And when I'm working outside my house and I'm taking art with me on the go, I love these water brushes, and it's from Pentel. I've tried the Derwent. I have those. I don't like those as much because I'm already having problems with the clogging happening, and I could have just got a defective one, I don't know, but like when I go to press the barrel here, like the water doesn't flow like this one does. It hasn't gotten clogged like the Derwent, and it comes with different sizes. I have a few more that are in my art on the go bag, and so I haven't dug them out, but they come with different tips, and I've been using them for a few years and they still seem to be in working order. And you put this on the end, refill your water, squeeze to activate, to drop the water, and just start painting. So these are convenient. They're not as good as these brushes here, but they get the job done and they're just handy. All right, so now we have gouache. I cannot live without gouache, you guys. I love gouache. It's one of my favorite painting mediums. Oil is my favorite, but gouache I would say is my second. And then watercolor, I mean, I just love. It is up there, but gouache does take the place of my watercolor. And I have different brands that I like. The Schmincke, Holbein, the Winsor & Newton Designer's Gouache. That's what I first started off my gouache journey, was with that. M. Graham. I do have Daniel Smith, but I wouldn't call it my favorite, but these brands I definitely do recommend. Very good. So M. Graham, Winsor & Newton, Designers Line, Holbein, and Schmincke. And this little guy right here is my dry gouache palette. So this is dry gouache palette and it works great. I did do a painting. Let me grab it. I did this painting here of this owl, and I really had to build up the layers to get it opaque, because once gouache dries, it's not going to look as opaque and vibrant as gouache straight from the tube. This is what it looks like pretty much with one layer. This is what it looks like built up. And I do enjoy this because I can take gouache with me outdoors and, you know, outside my studio. If I want something to look very luscious and vibrant, I would use my gouache straight from the tube. But now that I have this dry gouache palette, I always have to have it in my life. Like, it is so much fun to go out and work outside of your studio and use it. I highly recommend it. Okay, so last but certainly not least are my oil paints. Now, I would say that oil painting is probably my true love, and I fell in love with it when I started my art degree some years back, and I have not dropped the practice yet. So I have various brands in here, but the one that I have tried the most and used the most over the years has been Winsor & Newton and Gamblin, and I do recommend these two for sure. This is newer to me, Holbein oils and M. Graham oils. They're both great. I also have Rembrandt too, but I haven't used them enough to say like, oh, okay, these are my top oils. I mean, they work fantastic, but like I said, I've used these time and time again. So tried and true oil brands. All right, so I want to share with you my favorite sketchbooks. This is my very first sketchbook that I've ever finished, and it's funny because I've been doing art for a long time, but I've never really kept a sketchbook until I purchased this one probably about like 6 or 7 years ago, and I had it like halfway done, and then once COVID hit, I finished it. But anyhow, I love the paper. I have maybe about 4 or 5 moleskins that I've finished. I feel like the paper's pretty great. I like to draw on it with color pencil, graphite. I can do charcoal drawings on it. I can prime it with gesso, do acrylic, gouache. It pretty much takes those. Light washes with watercolor. It's not great with watercolor, but I've had good luck with it. Other people may say different, but From my experience, it's been good. And the Steelman and Burn is great. Mixed media, again, light washes. And this is the beta series. This is my second one from them. I will continue buying sketchbooks from this line. And I have 2 more that are sitting in my shelf that are unused that I will eventually go and use. And then a new favorite is from Etcher, their mixed media sketchbook. It is 100% cotton paper, and I really enjoy working in this. The cover is a bit dirty, but I'm going to at some point prime it and paint it, and once I finish, but you can see where my progress is. But that wraps up the video. I hope you found this video helpful, entertaining, and or useful. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here and spending your time with me. I hope you have a wonderful and creative day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.